Welcome to Dawson City. This is the home of the Klondike Gold Rush. It started in 1896 when prospectors first found gold there. It started a stampede with 100,000 miners that came up there to mine gold there. They're still mining there to this day. So we got a series. We're going to show you all kinds of real cool stuff. So we're going to show you hydraulicking, really old stuff. There's stuff in the permafrost that's being found today from the last ice age 10,000 years ago, and right up, we're going to show you right up into modern day mining, the huge dredges that worked in this area, and stuff from the Discovery Gold Rush. So all kinds of stuff. We've got a series of this, and right after the intro, we'll get started. Most of it's probably mental. You don't like dark places that are wet and you're claustrophobic. You have a bunch of phobias and stuff. It's not going to be the place for you. We are starting off at a small operation. It's a hydraulicking operation, so they're using pressurized water to mine gold here. This is just a mom and pop operation. It's pretty fascinating. There's few places in the world where you're allowed to do this. So this ground is in permafrost, so all the stuff that you see here is permanently frozen. So it was mined way back in 1896 when they first started mining. The miners thawed the ground out and they went straight down to bedrock and went along and cleaned the gold out. But there's still a fair bit of gold left that they missed because they just dug in these little channels. So what this guy's doing is set up this hydraulic monitor. It's got a 6,000 psi, and he's using this a huge amount of water at high pressure to melt the permafrost, and then washes away all the overburden on top. And then the gravel comes down containing the gold, and then he goes in with his hoe, picks up all this gravel and stuff that's being washed down there and run it through that little sluice box that you first seen. So we'll show you this, and it's pretty cool. Sharon and I both got to try this monitor out. Not very many people have ever seen this or got to do it, so this was really a neat experience. And the other thing that's cool, inside here, what comes out of this muck all the time is you see real old stuff from the miners. So their old ladders, their tools, equipment, and also really old prehistoric stuff. So we're seeing skulls of animals from the last ice age, saber-toothed tigers, woolly mammoth skulls, tusks, all kinds of stuff. And we'll show you a bunch of that stuff too. So this is really cool. A lot of this stuff looks like it's frozen, right? So once they open it all up, it thaws out and then makes it really unstable, even if it was able to get in there. So a lot of this looks like it's all frozen, eh, Ben?
Yeah.
So when they open it up, the problem is that there's any shafts that look like they were good.
That was a shaft right in there.
Yeah.
You see that frozen?
Yeah. Yeah, you can see there's some piled rock there, stacked rock there. And I see a shaft further up, but the problem is that thaws out really quick. So
there's a moose antler coming out of the wood right over there. So you see into some bones here again.
Oh, wow.
You can give him a hand, move the monitor. And
sure, yeah.
He'll be running it later on this afternoon, but
I'm concentrating.
Okay, here, I get a turn.
No way, man.
The way this actually works is the muck or the overburden, the kind of black peaty stuff, it just washes right down into a settling pond further down. and there's nothing in it, there's no gold in it. But underneath that, the gravel is in there and it has the gold, so it doesn't wash very far. So it just goes a little bit down from where the monitor is, and then he gets that with a hoe, digs it out, and puts it in his sluice box, and that's where the gold comes from, actually. It's defrosting all the ice and everything there. Yeah, here's some old ladders from the Klondike Gold Rush. Handmade ladders that they made to get up some of these shafts. That's pretty cool, eh? It's quite something to see just how much of the muck and the stuff that washes away from the top, you know, the trees and the moss and everything, and you know, this is all solid ice, so it melts too. So you can see a tunnel in underneath there. So this is what the old timers, they would have tunneled into and followed the bedrock and gotten the gold out of here. So you can still see the tunnel a little bit. You know, as soon as they left there, you know, it was all frozen in ice, and then you know, it's been perfectly preserved, and all the tools and stuff, or whatever they left there, is still there, which is actually really neat to see. And then also in that muck is where you find all these all the animals and stuff that from the last ice age. You see like huge. We'll show you the big teeth and mammoth parts and saber-toothed tigers and a whole bunch of really cool stuff there. So so this other thing we're going to show you here was actually reclaimed from some of these workings. And what this actually is here is one of these old shaft houses. So this is how they would have cribbed it up. They dug down as they melted the permafrost. They dug all the way down, and then they just have you know, like a shaft bucket that goes right down to the pay, and then they just dug tunnels going either way, followed the bedrock and got the gold out of there. So they're able to obviously do this year round. They do it in the wintertime. Summertime doesn't make any difference because it's all froze solid. So this is one that they saved that was in one of those creeks or whatever, and all perfectly preserved because it was frozen, and it's on display. So these little shaft houses would have been all over the place. But yeah, so pretty cool to see this old history.
You're supposed to get brown spray, not white spray. So I was definitely doing a better job. I could probably get hired on here. He might just have to be the cameraman. I'm pretty sure I was doing a better job than you.
We'll compare paychecks.
We will. I think I'm going to get hired and you're not.
And these are old ladders and stuff that was from underground that they got out of there doing some monitoring work. And these are buffalo skulls. They're pretty old, eh? Those are big buffalo, aren't they?
Yeah, these are all from the era when the...
How old do you think those are?
I'm not sure when the mammoths were around.
Yeah. And these are tusks from woolly mammoths. They look like a piece of stick, but they're not. They're actually tusks. And they just use these little wooden boxes to drag along, drag it to the shaft and then get it up. So woolly mammoth looks like hip bones, I guess. Yeah.
Yep.
For size. That muskeg really preserves stuff, eh?
Yeah, yeah, they come out pretty clean yet.
Yeah. Yeah. Woolly mammoth tusk.
You can see how worn it was here.
You guys ever find any skulls? Of them?
They're pretty rare.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Buffalo skull and a whole bunch of other tusks. That's a skull?
Yeah.
So that's like,
Yeah.
how's it tipped then?
And these are buffaloes, these ones, right?
The bison.
Bison, yeah.
cavity.
What are these? What are these things?
That's a tooth.
Yeah,
The which? Teeth?
it's a mammoth tooth.
That's one tooth.
Wow. Quite something.
Hey, crazy, hey?
How heavy is it? Calcium, right? So-
It's real.
oh yeah, it's quite a bit heavy.
Yeah.
There's a saber-toothed tiger. Some more teeth. Oh, a horse. Bear skull.
Like,
Pour the gravel in there.
Oh,
Gravel
yeah,
in there,
yeah.
and then add one hand and they just dip it or
Yeah.
add the water running into it.
So that's for pretty small, pretty fine gold, because gold had to, yeah,
That's cool.
go through there, and they just dump the bigger stuff out. Yeah.
Coming out.
I guess you put different size screen in there, but yeah.
Yeah, and there would have been like a riffle or something there.
Pretty simple to make something like that, though, to reproduce it. Not really that much to it. Okay, so we're in the Yukon here, and this is Hunker Creek, so this is where Tony Beats. He's got a bunch of stuff downstream, so this is just a little operation. You can see they're getting water directly out of the creek here, and they're feeding a small wash plant here with a 9 dozer. It's a pretty narrow creek. This is a really rich creek, been mined for a long time. So the one cool thing about the Klondike is there's lots of old equipment here, and this is an old drag line. See, they use this crane to scoop up hay, load it into trucks. Now you see there's just ravens are using it for nesting. Iron never leaves the Yukon. It gets up here and the link belt. I don't know how that, probably back in the 60s, I suppose. Maybe not that old. Big engine. Look at the counterweight. It's interesting how the engine's in the back for the counterweight. Most cranes have a counterweight, but this one uses the engine as a counterweight. There we are. Yeah. Not that big of a crane, but interesting. So here we are. This is a Yukon dredge. Sitting here for, I don't know, maybe 100 years or so. Well, there's the bucket line there on one of Tony's shows. This bearing wore out here, and they spent a whole bunch of money to get it redone. They should have just come over here and got this one. The bushing got wore out. And they, I don't know, they had one specially made somewhere. I can't remember what it cost. Wonder how they're lubricated. Must be packed full of grease or something. Somehow. Big bushing. Unfortunately, we can't go in here because there's a sign that says danger, unstable structure. So we're not going to be able to show you the inside of this dredge. Yes. So this one's actually a fairly small one. We're going to go up the bucket line here, and we'll get up to the wheelhouse. Yeah, it looks like they did some repair on them to fix them. I think I can just walk up here. Fairly easy. Get up into the wheelhouse. Yeah, I think we're just going to have to climb right in, continue up the bucket line to get in there. We can have a look at the deck. Not sure how solid all that's going to be. Better hold on to the railing. Looks to be pretty good. Well, would have been quite something to see this thing running. Yeah. Oh, we can get to the back of it here. No problem. Fair ways down there. So this is about the same size of a dredge that Tony Beats would have restored and got running from Thistle Creek. Oh, there we go. This one's pretty much, this cool thing about this dredge is pretty much all complete still. And all those extra tools and bolts and stuff there. And this is where the trommel is. It's like a big trommel in here. Motors, electric motor there. And there's a big clutch there. Gears. That's a huge gear. So that runs the bucket line. This is the motor that runs the bucket line. I'm not sure where the operator would have sat to run this. Looking out the bucket line. Still not seeing the operator station. Might be in a level below us. We can go down the ladder and have a look. Wow, this old grid, pretty cool. We see some riveted, there's riveted parts on the superstructure and all this, so it was probably built maybe before the 1920s. Oh, there's another motor here. Looks like they kind of secured it fairly recently. Alright, let's go downstairs and see what's down there. Well, inside it's all in perfect shape. You know, the roof is in good shape and everything. And it's not leaking or anything. So with Tony's dredge, apparently he got it all going, but where they have it located, they having issues with the water license because the Indian band is opposing them relaunching their. No, there's some motors and stuff. Okay. Oh. Yeah, there's the breakers. All right, so here's the sluice. Okay, so you can see the gold goes into this trommel here. Show you how it works. The gold gets dumped into this trommel, and it turns here and washes the gold, washes the larger pieces out. The smaller pieces containing the gold would go down through the screen as it's turning. I can't believe how clean all this is. So this thing's turning, the trommel's turning, there's a big spray bar here, and all the gold will go down into that lower section and into some sluices in there. You know, if there's big nuggets, they wouldn't go through that screen. They would go through that, they would just go at the tailings. So presumably if there's big nugget, big chunky gold, it would still, it would be in the tailings. So that's the tailings conveyor. So this is just where the waste material goes up through the tailings conveyor. And we'll continue on this level here. I can show you where the sluice boxes are. So they would have riffles in here. They would have riffles in here like a conventional sluice box. And then the water would eventually exhaust out through there. Pretty good shape. Not perfect, but it's in pretty good shape. Missing a stair there. Let me continue on down here. So this is, we're just sitting on a bunch of pontoons here, so this is how it floated, right? You're looking down into there. There's just a bunch of cells that floated this whole machine. Pretty neat. I'm not sure where they actually operated this thing from.
From up there.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, there's stairs going up here. It's just like a ship, really. It is a ship, really, yeah.
So where were those maps?
Yeah, the sluice is right above us. That's a pretty big water pump. Let's have a look at the operators. Yeah, it's a little rickety here. Hopefully it won't come tumbling down here. So there we go. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, there's a winch there. Some kind of electric winch for maybe just repositioning a workbench. I'm not seeing where the operators, where they would operate it from. Must be the other side. There's not much here. Let's see if we can find the helm of the ship. Down this stairs here. Fell through. Luckily I only fell 2 feet. It's rotten and I fell right through the stairs. I was never trust rotten ladders, right? Oh, there's another. Oh, I'm thinking right here is where the helm is. Have a look up these stairs. They're a little more solid. Steel stairs here. Go up here and have a look. No. I still don't see where they operated it from.
The bottom you get, but you gotta go around.
You can go through there.
Oh, yeah, you don't do here, but get up top.
I don't see where they ran it from.
Gotta go up.
Get up more.
Well, I was up. I started the top and worked all the way down, but I didn't see anything. I'm missing something. The bridge.
Looks like they put a board on it though.
Board on. Oh, there was a little room in there. Oh, I see. Okay, that's why I didn't see it. I thought it was just a door going outside.
They boarded it up.
Oh, I see. So we got to get in there somehow. If we had a Robinson screwdriver, we could pull a couple screws out of there and go in there and then put it back together. This is Boundary Treading. Probably dredging company. Canyon Creek, Alaska, via Dawson. And there we've located the entrance to the bridge. Yeah, that's what we were looking for. Yeah, so there we go. There's the levers that run all the controls for all the various winches, and this is where they would operate it from. Just a big window here. This is the helm. Yeah, so see, it's all riveted. The superstructure is all riveted, which makes me think it was built prior to 1920. And there's a rail stop, just like the one we got almost.
Oh, that one.
Yep, the one we got from Alberta. The coal mine. This one's got a few more contacts, but start the motors up so they don't have a huge jump in electricity. General Electric. Nobody's even stolen the copper wire out of here yet. Yeah, it is pretty complete, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that was just all for cables.
There's big linkages running to all the brakes and stuff.
Oh,
The
winches.
winches down there.
Wow.
The various functions. I think you'd have to have a label on which one.
Yeah. I guess you had to know.
Just keep pushing buttons till something works.
Burn donuts.
This is the tailings conveyor, so this is where all the waste gravel came out there. So obviously this had worked this pond here, but it wasn't working when it was parked here because there isn't a big pile of tailings, which you see here. So those big piles of tailings and stuff. They're all over Dawson and stuff in there from these dredges. This would have been floating in this pond, right? And then it would have been, the front end would have been chewing this at this bank, and then that would just keep moving the pond along, closing up behind them. You know, see, they thought of everything here. They even got a crapper here. Let's inspect the plumbing of this crapper here. Oh, right beside the tailings conveyor. Yeah, well, that's really cool. See this old dredge in operation. Not the biggest one, but this one is supposed to be the most complete of all the dredges.
I don't know if it'll be here or just part of the power station.
That's where all those linkages hook up into in the wheelhouse, and all these winches to do the various functions, to turn it, to lift and raise the tailings conveyor, and the bucket line, and all those different things.
That's a huge mess of linkages.
Yeah, this is the heart, or the engine, or controls, I guess.